Well. Welcome back. Boy, do I have a tale for you. A tale of wonder, mystery, excitement. Gamescom. It happened in another country, so I couldn't go. However, doesn't mean we can't discuss it. Baldur's Gate 3 seems to be making its way to the Xbox. I've seen some interesting things about Path of Exile 2. And we'll probably find a few more things to discuss. So, once again, my friends, welcome! Take a seat. Grab your tankard, always covered in anime stickers. And let's begin the show. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
So, okay, so let's start this off right. Welcome to the Just Gaming Podcast with me, your host, Ian, and...
Mark, the balding orange guy.
I mean, just defamation.
That's how you get people to like you.
We got a good show. We have a great show for you guys today. I'd like to make sure that I welcome everybody that I can see in the chat at the moment. Licks, Nix, thank you for joining us yet again. Half Dead Saint, Gaming Fire, Mrs. Bella Games, Tom, and Drock, and then Ding.
Fucking dong. I'm sorry. Chef's kiss for that one.
Wow. So if you guys didn't notice, I did post it on Twitter, and I did also post it on the community tab for the YouTube channel. But Half Dead Saint that you see in chat actually gifted 2 copies of Baldur's Gate 3 for us to give away today on the show. So thank Half Dead Saint for the 2 free copies that were gifted.
Super awesome.
Super awesome. We love being able to give things out to the community, and we also love giving more people the ability to play Baldur's Gate 3. So, now we start the show. All right, anyway.
Been good.
So, I'm going to be honest with you guys. So, this is how the show is going to go. I'm going to start relatively low energy, and then I'm going to kind of like gradually like pick up steam as the show goes on. Yeah. Last night, I had 2 bottles of sake and then 2 bottles of soju, and I didn't drink any water.
So I was sitting there thinking, I was on today. I was like, you know what? Ian's usually on wanting to play some Baldur's Gate or something before the podcast, and it was like crickets.
Yeah, I exited my bed like a slug. I just slowly but surely inched myself to my computer desk.
Tongue just welded to the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I was like, man, it's like that every time that I go to do like it's like every time I go to eat, like, especially like Japanese cuisine, because it's like social food. It's like little bits, right? Like you don't order like a big plate of anything. You just you have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We had yakiniku last night, and I should have drank some water. It's like grilled meats plus alcohol, and then not drinking any water. Like I just like salted my body out.
Well, Jackie's kind of telling on you, dude. Sounds like you just went right for it. Didn't even like give her a chance to partake.
Yeah, so. Well, you know what? I did. I fucking slammed that first bottle.
He's a lush.
I slammed that first bottle. Dude, it's like that every time. I'm always one of those people where I'm like, no, I don't really want to drink, and I don't like drink often, you know what I mean? But it's like, then when it's in front of me, I'm just like,
I've gotten to that age to where I know, like that next drink, I was like, we're either staying out all night or I'm going home right now. There's no like.
Oh no, I know what that drink is too. I just ignore it. I know what that drink is too. I just ignore it. So how was your week, friend? What did you do? The week?
Well,
you haven't really talked that much. You've been working a lot.
Yeah. If you didn't know, the Midwest is in a heat dome. That's what the National Weather Service is calling it, a heat dome. Yeah. So basically, the way it works is it pushes all the cold air around this large map of America and makes it like 120 degrees here.
Are you like our weatherman today or what?
Yeah, and if you look over here to the no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But yeah, so that's been pretty brutal, especially working in warehousing. It's pretty rough. It's been pretty hot, miserable, but we're supposed to get a break. I did finish my solo playthrough on Baldur's Gate. My solo Gale. I just did a Gale playthrough.
Okay.
If you notice, I said finished and not beaten, right? So
Yeah.
when I say that to you the first time, you were like, "What? You just quit?" It's like, no, I just don't feel like I beat the game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
because I missed so much. There's so much to miss that now I'm on my second playthrough. So
Yeah, and I had that as well where I was playing and I just kind of was like, certain things I'm like, oh man, I forgot to do that. I'm like, I'll just get it on another playthrough. It's not like I'm just gonna play the game once. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like right now, I'm trying to go through in Act 1 and like do the Kaga stuff that I didn't do my first go round, and so it's been a little different. Been picking and choosing my stuff a little bit. So
yeah,
kind of fun. How about you?
I have I've been it's been a busy week at work, and it's only gonna get worse. Next week's gonna be even more busy. I'm actually surprised I got out as many videos as I did this week, just because of how busy I was.
You cranked
Well,
them.
it was one of those things where I'm like, I realized that by the time I like get off work, get off work, go to the gym, and come home. By the time I come home, like I really don't have that much time. It's almost better spent just recording a video than playing a game, because like I'm gonna get, especially when it comes to like Baldur's Gate, like I'm gonna get more accomplished recording a video than I am in the time that I could. To play
sure.
Baldur's Gate. Like I just won't get anything done. Because that's just the nature of the game. But yeah. What else? There was something else. Oh, I also played Armored Core 6.
How is it? I mean, when we first talked about it, we both kind of said that this kind of didn't look like my art, like for me, not my kind of game. But are you enjoying it?
It's not your kind of game. No. I like it. Yeah. It's very bite-sized. It's a very bite-sized game, and what I mean by that is like they still use like their old like mission styling with their sortie, where you will like take a mission, go do the mission, and then the mission's over, and then you go back to the menu.
Oh,
and like some of those missions, depending on how proficient you are in combat, I mean, some of those missions can take me like under a couple minutes. Oh, so you're like in and out, like, and then sometimes you'll complete it so fast you're like, that was it. Like, I kind of feel like you got, like, in some ways, I definitely feel like they probably should have combined some of the missions together.
Yeah. Is it a difficulty thing? Is it a difficulty thing? Like, you're just going, is it like an arena? Like, you're going into an arena area, like a circle, and that's, you have to do something?
It's not really, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a circle, but yeah, it's kind of like that. It's almost kind of an arena-esque kind of thing.
Okay.
And then you just kind of dive in, you kill some stuff, you get out. And that's pretty much about it. You'll accomplish whatever objectives are necessary for the mission, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. You'll earn some money. You take that money to go buy parts. I think depending on how many people or what things you achieve, you can also unlock different things to unlock and purchase as well. I also think that there's stuff for you to be able to like discover as well. Like I think there's chests that you can open that'll give you more parts for you to be able to purchase.
So is this like when you think FromSoft, you think Souls, right? So is there anything Souls-ish about this game?
The boss fights.
Okay.
Yeah, the boss fights are very reminiscent of Souls games.
Are they just like super brutal, like unforgiving if you get hit type deal? Oh, okay.
Yeah, super brutal, very unforgiving. The bosses are very large and like, larger than life. Very dramatic fights. For the boss fights and stuff like that, I think that's the best way to say it. Like, it's super dramatic.
You got mechs over there just clutching their pearls. Oh no!
Yeah. But like visually, it's stunning. The gameplay is very smooth. It plays very well on mouse and keyboard, which was like kind of took me by surprise, because like a lot of games, especially something like a mech game, feels like it would probably play a little bit better on a controller than it would mouse and keyboard. But then again, I mean, all the old school mech games were all on PC to begin with, so.
Yeah. I tried playing Mech Warrior's latest entry, I guess when they put it on Game Pass, and I think with mech games, I kind of like more of an arcadey type, which I would probably, something like Armored Core.
Yeah.
But it was very like, I'm walking, you sit your deal walking, and then you're turning, but you're still walking this way. Then you have to turn your bottom torso just to be able to, you know what I mean? It was very archaic in its.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have that in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks a lot more mobile.
Yeah. It was just people complaining about the graphics in Armored Core, seeing people complaining about the graphics that was cranked up. Yeah, to be honest, like I don't understand how people are complaining about the graphics in Armored Core at all. Like the game is
It looked
gorgeous.
pretty from what I've seen.
Game is gorgeous. I have no idea. I think people just like have something to say just to have something to say. That's the best way I can put it. Like sometimes people just throw out judgments on a game just to say something. That's like console war stuff, dude. Like do you know what's really funny is if you look at like some of these like console war Andes, like you'll see dudes that are PlayStation fanboys, but their entire YouTube channel is all videos about Xbox.
Yeah.
And vice versa. There's Xbox channels, but all of their videos are about PlayStation. And it's like, well, like we're talking like talk about rent free, dude. Like,
yeah. Well, it's the odd thing is some of them do. Like our buddy Fonz, he likes to talk about the games, coming to the console. But yeah, you can watch other podcasts.
Yeah, but Fonz isn't an Xbox channel.
No, he's not. He's not.
I'm talking like these are actual channels.
Yeah,
they're repping the colors. They're repping everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this is their group.
And they spend 2 hours talking about PlayStation.
Yeah. It's like I saw this one dude that was making these posts on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, and I saw that he was a YouTuber, and I'm like, okay. And I looked, and his channel's actually bigger than Legendary Drops. And I was like, I looked at his content, and all of his videos are like exposing Starfield. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what? Like, I'm like trying to imagine. I'm just trying to imagine the headspace that you have to be in to like sit there on your PlayStation and be like, I need to expose Starfield. Like, dude, what are you doing, bro? Like, talk about games that you have that are coming out. Why are you so worried about what Xbox has? You can't even play it anyway. Why are you so worried about it? Like, you're not gonna play it anyway. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand.
I downloaded Starfield. I changed my mind on it to where what I was going to do was play it on Game Pass, and then if I really liked the game, I'd eventually buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
For the modding community, but man, I don't want to miss out because they have the early access. So I'm gonna download it. I downloaded it on Game Pass. I'm gonna pay the $31 or whatever it is to get the be able to play it on August 31st. That way we can talk about it here and be somewhat informed that for you know what I mean before the game comes out. So.
Imagine reporting on something you're informed about. We're trying to be game journalists over here, dude. Like, we need to know nothing about what we talk about. That's the only way for us to be really qualified to do this.
I would hate for like our listeners to be like, "Hey, how's Starfield?" I don't know.
But I'm gonna have opinion anyway.
I'm gonna give it thumb down.
But I'm gonna have an opinion anyway.
Bethesda bad.
Yeah, bad Bethesda.
No, it wasn't Reforge Gaming Fire. It was not Reforge. That guy, you know what? He makes a lot of good points about a lot of things, but the problem is he always goes in way further than he needs to kind of discredit what he said on the previously. Well, yeah. Like they make some good, okay.
You got some
I
good
gotta think about
points.
that.
And
then he's like, "There's an ice wall keeping us in here," stuff like that. So.
Oh man. Yeah. So it's like there was some stuff that I guess we can talk about we should talk about Starfield a little bit. I feel like the last podcast, like I was kind of like negative about it, and that's just more me being angry at like Xbox's decisions, and we'll get
Xbox proper. Yeah.
We'll get in on some of that stuff later. So there's a lot of different stuff, obviously, that's happened with Starfield over this last week. Did you see the guy that got arrested?
I did. So I mean, if you were to think of a criminal mastermind, this guy should never come to mind.
Why not?
So, so
his plan
because
was
he had all these copies of Starfield, he tweeted out to Todd Howard "Hey, dude, the game is great. Like the game is so good." And then when people were hitting him up on his socials from where he was selling them, saying it was fake and whatnot, no, he took a picture of himself in his car, like with the games. And he's from Tennessee, and he picked the anonymous name Memphian, like Memphis, but Memphian. So like, I wonder what city he lives in, guys. Yeah. So when they caught him, he had weed on him and all kinds of yeah, dude. It turned into like this whole thing. Like his whole life got ruined. It's amazing. It's
so
amazing.
like, how high was this dude when he was like, I have a great idea?
Hey Todd, the game's great, dude.
Like, you know what it was? Like, this dude probably like, so he stole the games. You know, he stole the box of Starfield games. Goes home, starts jamming it, and he's like, "This shit is fire."
Gotta let Todd know right now.
Drax one off the bong real quick, and he's like, Hey Todd, this shit's fucking good, man. Not even taking a moment to think about it. And he's like, man, I gotta get this game in the hands of more players.
Oh my god! And then like he knows he's selling stolen copies, and to prove that he has the copies, he takes a picture of himself and posts it on social media.
Dude, that was like, so I recently got into watching these like crime documentaries and stuff like that. And one of the things that I notice is that like the people that commit some of the most heinous crimes are also like the dumbest people in society. Like they are actually like, I'm talking, they're dumb.
Special. Yeah.
Like the justifications these people used. Like I saw this one guy where he took out his grandma, right?
For like a catfish dinner, or
I think he was like 14 or 15 years old, and he just like nonchalantly tells the police, he's like, yeah, I killed her. And they're like, why? And he's like, my friend and I wanted to go out for pizza.
Wow.
It's just like, what? How does your brain work? Yeah, but yeah, so when it comes to dudes like that, they're like stealing stuff and then tweeting out at the dude that made the fucking game. And then beyond that, like, yeah, I mean, yeah. People that do that kind of stuff don't tend to have a whole lot of brain cells.
You remember the show World's Dumbest Criminals? It was only on for like maybe like a year. I think it was like on Spike TV back in the day. I just remember one episode vividly. Okay, a guy calls the cops because his car got broken into. Okay. They stole $30,000. He's telling the cops they stole $30,000 out of his trunk. And so the cops are like, you know, why did you have $30,000? And he's like, oh, you know, he's hee-hawing around. And they found some like drugs in the trunk, like you know, like small paraphernalia stuff. And he's like, well, yeah, we're gonna have to arrest you, blah blah blah. He goes, well, you're probably gonna charge me for the pound of coke under my seat too. Like, dude, just shut up. Just stop talking and just go. Maybe they find it, maybe they don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It also kind of reminds me of like when you watch like you ever seen like 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, where it's just like there's so many people that were just taken out by natural selection. like a wine enema, and you're like. That's like my favorite one that I saw. Like some dude was an alcoholic and he was just like, I need a drink. But he ruined his throat somehow and he had throat surgery, so like he couldn't drink anything.
Oh my god. So he's like, butt chug it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
What a world we live in.
That's a stain that's not coming out.
What a world we live in. So speaking of butt chugging, let's talk about Starfield.
Okay. Dude, you know what my favorite thing about you is?
What?
Transitions.
My seamless transition.
Just seamless. Seamless.
I know. Hey, this is the kind of entertainment that we bring you guys. This is the reason why you come to watch the podcast, okay? So yeah, we had the theft thing, but obviously that led to a lot of leaks too. There's been a lot of leaks. There's been like they've been banning a ton of people that they gave early access copies to for this game. Which is really weird because like there's a lot of games that have like pre-testing. Are they just more selective with the people that they choose to play the game early?
I think they sent a lot more copies out to influencers and creatives than they normally do.
Well, that's a lie. They didn't send it to me, Todd Howard.
Well, we haven't always been like. Actually, we've been pretty honest, so they should have. But so I think that's like they sent it to people that they probably wouldn't have beforehand to try to do a little bit more, hype for the game, which I don't think the game personally needs it. I mean, I think the game's got plenty of hype behind it. I don't think there's a whole lot of people in the gaming strat that doesn't know what Starfield is.
It's a Bethesda game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I think they sent them to some people that they probably they probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
That's what
happens. Yeah, but so there's been a lot of leaks and things like that I've seen. Which I mean, like I'm not really into like discussing leaks or anything like that. So I'm not really gonna bring up anything regarding that, except for one thing I'm going to bring up, and it's what I expected, and it's what we talked about, and I'm actually surprised that people didn't think that that's what this game was gonna be like. But they showed that, when you travel to these planets, it's locked coordinates, and you are limited to the tile set that is generated. Yeah. So if you just take off in one direction and keep running, you're just going to run into a void of nothing and hit a boundary, and then it's going to say, do you want to move to the next area or discover another area? So if you want to try to like reset the next tile set, then you would have to leave back to orbit and then go to another place
and land in that section.
And land in another area.
It makes sense for a game this large. You can't have seamless load screens. You know what I mean? Like that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just kind of like that's just a technical scope thing where like folks got to kind of understand like, what's realistic and what's not realistic. And it's not to say that they couldn't do that, but if they did that, then it probably wouldn't run on console.
No, it wouldn't run on console, and at least wouldn't be able to run on the S. That's for sure. So. Yeah.
So, but that was the thing. Like, and I assumed that from the get-go, and I was like, it was really odd how I saw a lot of people. They kind of took Todd and team out of context, though. I mean, obviously they were being really theatrical when they were talking about the game to begin with. Yeah. So of course people are going to be like, "Oh, well, I can do anything. I could literally just explore an entire planet for 150 hours and never even leave." And like, obviously that's not what the scale of this is going to be. Technology's not there yet. It's getting close though.
It's getting close.
And there are games that can do that kind of stuff, right? You have No Man's Sky, but you have to think that the assets that are in No Man's Sky it's not the same. It's not the same complexity or gameplay loop or any of that kind of stuff. So I think it's kind of important for people to try to make sure that if you are excited about Starfield, come into it with realistic expectations.
Yes. Well, I mean, what is that, the Mandela effect? Like you think you heard something, or you imagine what someone says is what they said type deal. Yeah. Manage your expectations. It's a video game. It's not, the second coming. The game is going to be, I think the game's going to be large, but it like you have to look at what's actually possible in a video game. Like people getting upset about the load screens is kind of weird, or just having to leave orbit and to jump back in. Yeah. It's kind of a weird deal, but I could see, I mean, there are players that will spend 150 hours in one area because they're just that type of player. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody else will get bored and just go move on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Guys like you and me with ADHD, we like to I did this. Okay, I want to look up and go to space. Let's go see what's in space. Let's go see what's over here. Let's go see. Oh, that's shiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I'll bounce around a lot.
So it's kind of crazy.
Go ahead. Ding brings up something really important too, which is that like what people have to keep in mind is, especially when we're talking about a Bethesda game, it's not even like don't get me wrong, like the initial gameplay experience is really good, but the reason why people are so excited and why people are so hyped for these games is specifically because of the fact that they are a sandbox that people are going to be able to experiment with, build on, and bring more to in the future through modding and things like that, right? That's the reason why people get so excited for this stuff, because like the mods really do make a Bethesda game.
They do, and I was watching some vid docs on it. One of the higher up guys, I can't remember his name. He's usually the one that always talks about Doom 2 as well. Doom as well. Yeah. Say Doom 2. But he was talking about the skill tree. He goes like, don't expect to go into space as a pirate and get a Class C ship, jump in it, and be able to fly around. You don't have the skill set to fly that ship, right? So you have to so experience wise, depending on how you build your character out, it's a little like Baldur's Gate in that sense of you're going to be able to. I'm going to be able to experience something different than you, depending on how we build our people. That makes sense. Sense. So
yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, so I that's probably one of the things I'm the most excited about in the game, is because it does really look like their character tree, building characters and stuff like that it's very deep. Like you are really going to have a very personalized character in this game. That's going to play according to what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Like whatever your space fantasy is. That's what you're going to live through in this game. And I really appreciate that. I really like, it's something that I want to see more RPGs really lean into, is really allowing you to make your experience your
own. Yep.
Yeah. And that's one of the most endearing qualities of Baldur's Gate 3, is the fact that like between me, you, and everybody else that I've played with, like none of us have a playthrough that is even remotely the same. You know what I mean? And
100%.
And that's really what I'm hoping. And it's not even what I'm hoping. It's what I know that I'm going to get out of Starfield as well, because Skyrim was very much like that. And so was Oblivion. You know what I mean? And so is Fallout, for that matter. Everybody's experience is completely different, and I just really fucking love RPGs, man.
Yeah, they're the best genre of game. I think my only hesitation. So as I'm getting hyped up with, it's not a hesitation to play the game. I'm going to play the game. So I've been doing research, not spoiler research, just kind of seeing what's in the news with Starfield, with Gamescom. They went out there, they did a lot of talking. AMD came out, and apparently, like, I guess Drake, because he bought a new AMD processor, he got Starfield for free, right, as a deal. But so they AMD focused on FSR for Starfield, or actually I take that back. Bethesda focused on FSR for Starfield, and they say it's not due to like contract or whatever. It's just like a partnership, which means that Starfield doesn't have DLSS. Which, if you're a PC gamer, DLSS is I think personally superior to FSR. But AMD has also come out and said that if Bethesda wants to implement DLSS, they can, right?
Yeah, they said they were open to it. I saw a tweet about it, actually.
Yeah, they're open to it. And then AMD announced that they're going to be doing FSR3, which should be usable on any hardware. And that's where, like, even consoles, it's supposed to help them to double. The guy kept selling, like, double and triple your frame rates. But if you're able to use FSR on a NVIDIA card, per se, then it should be fine. But yeah, that kind of gives me a little bit of concern for the launch on PC a little bit, seeing as how the majority of people have a NVIDIA card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is really concerning to begin with, because it's like, for the most part, Bethesda games have always been made for the computer first, console second. This is the first time I think it's being released where a Bethesda game is probably going to be more optimized for the console than it will the PC.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
which is sad.
Yeah,
I think we should be first because we're better, but you know. I mean, I'll just say it.
Not to alienate anybody.
Not to alienate anybody. Yeah.
I don't know if AMD can get FSR3 rolling on consoles like existing hardware, and he's even saying that this FSR3 will actually roll back even deep into old AMD equipment or hardware. So if they're able to do that and get frame rates up, I think we might see an increase of quality of games on PC because they're going to have a higher quality on. They'll be able to do more.
To be honest with you, I'm not too worried about it because I'm sure like even if they can't get it taken care of, some modder's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, they will.
Somebody's just going to mod in DLSS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've seen a few other people bring up some stuff about how many hours the game is going to be. Like people talking about they already have like 140, 150 hours into the game already.
Phil Spencer's on number 50. He's on his 15th playthrough. He already said he's on his 15th playthrough, guys.
It's funny when people are like kind of talking about like how long the play is going to be because like that's very subjective. This isn't something like Baldur's Gate 3, right? Where like you are essentially kind of gated by your level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not going to try to take on Ketheric Thorm at level 2.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you're not going to take on the bosses in the game, or I mean you can technically. You could take level 1 in all classes, right? But like that's something that's very subjective. So it's like I'm sure there's a way for you to be able to, you know, you could probably blitz through the game doing the main story and complete the main story in like probably 50-60 hours, like a normal game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Like, someone asked how long is Skyrim. Skyrim, you can, if you just beeline the main story, you can beat Skyrim pretty fast. I'd probably say, I think I've beaten it in 8 hours before. It's not like if you just beeline the narrative.
Really?
You think you
can beat it that fast?
Yeah, you can beat it that fast.
Okay.
There's no like story blocking you from proceeding with that narrative. You know what I mean? It's all side narrative. It's all branching stuff.
Yeah. Like outside of that, with like I'm just genuinely excited to play Starfield because it's been a while since I played a first-person shooter.
It's just been a while since I played a good game. You know, I haven't played any good games this year. I'm just ready for a good game. You know what I mean? Finally my Xbox gets.
So yeah, I'm really excited to play Starfield because I'm
saw
genuinely
that comment somewhere.
Yeah, I knew you'd probably see that one coming. So I'm excited to play because I know that it's gonna be a good time either way. Like I've always enjoyed Bethesda games, and I'm kind of excited to play a first-person shooter or something like that for a little bit. That way I can flex my skills on stream. People will be like, oh shit, this
God.
this guy's a gamer. This guy's a gamer. But yeah, so I'm excited for it. The reason why I just really have been not trying to talk about it too much is because like 90% of the dialogue around Starfield is console war stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just so cringe, dude. It's so cringe.
It makes you like it's hard to get excited for the game just because you don't like the fan base. You know what I mean? Like it's
not even the fan base.
No, it's not the fan base. It's
not
the
fan base.
It's the online fan base. There you go.
Well, no, it's not even fans of Starfield. It's Xbox and PlayStation boys fighting each other.
Yeah.
With their little fucking slap fights out in the yard, where it's like every time I try to look up any information or anything cool about Starfield, or you know, everything is always brought up with somebody's, you know, dick measuring contest over, you know, whose piece of plastic is cooler than whose piece of plastic, and whose CEO is cuter than the other CEO. Well,
feels way sexier than Jim Ryan.
Look at Phil's hair. You know, it's just weird. It's just weird. So that's why, like, for the most part, like, even though like Starfield's a game that I'm definitely excited for, and I'm gonna like talk about it, and I'm gonna make content about it, and experience the game, and kind of chronicle my experience, and talk about like the positive parts that I will experience in Starfield. Which like I always try to like look for things that people don't necessarily notice that they really enjoy, and then try like dive in and talk about that kind of stuff. I will make content about the game. It's just like I just haven't really been following news around it because it's always just been really weird. Yeah, and it's much more fun, and like I'm gonna be honest with you, like I really like the people that are fans, and I really like the people that are fans of Baldur's Gate because I feel like Baldur's Gate has done a really good job. Larian especially has done a really good job at generating like a really positive audience and a really positive community, and that's the only thing that I'm interested in, other than like. Because I was thinking about this before, and I'm like, you know, what kind of like YouTube community would I like to have? And it's like I would like to have a bunch of like relatively optimistic gamers that want to play really good games, don't want to fight other people about about their games or their consoles or you know what they can or can't play or anything like that. But also at the same time, I am 100% willing to get spicy and hold the industry itself as a whole, you know, to a standard that it needs to be. So like that's the kind of stuff that I want to do, you know, optimistic, positive content mixed with a little bit of, you know, hey, AAA industry, I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
Yeah, well, it's I've gotten better about not like understanding that not every game is for every person. Okay, it's just not, and we tend to forget that every time there's a new release of any game. So what I super try to avoid is voicing a negative opinion about a game that's not for me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So if it's not for me, that's fine, that's good, but I don't need to try to shit on somebody else's joy on it because it's just not for me.
Yeah.
It's just where I'm at with it.
I feel like that's specifically with like Armored Core. Like I'm probably not going to make any videos about Armored Core because I just like Armored Core. I don't love it. It's not the greatest game I've ever played. It's not fun. It's not Elden Ring. It's not supposed to be that, and I understand that. It's just a game that's fun and enjoyable, and it's good in like bite-sized portions. It's not something I want to like spam play. You know what I mean, like that. It's just like when I want to take a little break from playing Baldur's Gate, and I go and hop over and play a little bit of that. It's a good palate. It's a good palate cleanser. But yeah. So yeah. I will say this, which is something I was thinking about, is that Baldur's Gate 3 and Armored Core both have kind of done something to prove like the AAA industry is wrong.
Yeah. They made good games?
No.
Okay.
No. So by the slug brain mentality of most AAA studios, you have to make a game that fits within this box, right?
Yeah.
First person shooter, battle royale, MOBA, free to play, live service, RPG, and making anything outside of that box is too much of a risk and most likely would never succeed. Or you could be a company like Larian, who just has a good reputation and makes a good game. So then people go to buy that game because the company has a good reputation. So they're just going to buy what they make, right?
Yep.
Furthermore, you look at a company like FromSoft. FromSoft has done really well with Armored Core 6. Who's been asking for a mech game? Nobody. It's a genre that, for the most part, like, don't get me wrong, there are people that love like mech-based combat and stuff like that, and I'm sure there is a community of people that have been asking for a new mech game or Armored Core or whatever. But for the most part, like the general market hasn't been like, we need more mech games.
Yeah.
However, that market then reacts when it's FromSoft making the game because they have set a really good reputation to the consumer, right? Because
they have good
people love the Souls games, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, etc. So of course when they see, oh hey, it's FromSoft, well I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it. like regardless of whether or not I'm into mech games. Like it looks cool. I know it's FromSoft, so I'm gonna buy it anyway because I trust FromSoft.
Yeah.
And that's how it used to be for a lot of these companies. For a lot of the like the AAA haymakers that we have out there, your Bungies, your Blizzards, your EA, your Activision, Ubisoft. I'm trying to think, like Take-Two, Capcom. Capcom, I'm gonna be honest, they don't really miss. Capcom's kind of pretty stuck. I think personally, I think Capcom's kind of stuck in the they've stayed in the pocket. Where like a lot of these other companies have kind of effed off pretty bad, and they've fallen off the wagon. I think Capcom's stayed pretty well in the pocket. Okay. I mean, they have a couple missteps, but it's not like they're taking advantage of people. They're not going into the same route that a lot of these other games are doing, where they're watering down a lot of their titles. You know what I mean? Like they can come out with a bad game. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about like them getting far away from the roots of like what it is to be a good company and make good games.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, what do you think about that? Like, I genuinely think that people are buying Armored Core specifically just off of the reputation of
Elden Ring. I wouldn't even say it's from it is FromSoft, but I think more people are probably getting it because I can guarantee you that Elden Ring was probably their first FromSoft game.
Yeah.
Like as much as people love Souls games, most people don't. Most people really don't like that type of. They don't like that type of punishment in their games. They just don't.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a huge fandom for Souls.
I'm not saying there's not a huge fandom. I'm just saying it's not Call of Duty. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not a bubble.
Yeah,
it's not
no,
a popcorn game.
No, it's not a popcorn game.
So I think Elden Ring's success and its accessibility that it added into that genre, being attached to FromSoft, I think to your point, yes, it adds to people buying this game because they made Elden Ring was their last game. That was a great game, right? So yeah.
And I feel like that's the opinion we used to hold in a lot of with a lot of these companies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Wheeler brings it up right there. It says it's how I used to feel about DICE. DICE is another one of those companies. EA, dude, if you guys will go back and look at like EA's old library, like they were a banger factory. Like everything they put out was like they touched gold. Yeah. But they got greedy and then they started abusing their player base. And the problem is that the minute that you start trying to mold the mechanics of your game around how you're going to monetize it, the further you get away from being able to be creative and make an enjoyable experience for the players, and you get more and more disconnected from how to actually make a good product. And then before long, all of a sudden you become, well, too disconnected to make anything that's really that good anymore. Not to say that EA still can't make a couple good games. They got a couple rare gems that pop out with the last Star Wars game. They made It Takes Two.
It's a Game of the Year game.
There's something else too, but yeah, like it's not to say that they can't do it. It's just they don't do it as often as they used to. And here's the thing, and for the most part, they don't even do it with their major titles. Yep. That's the other part too, where it's like, well, man, it would be really cool if you guys could, make sure that passion and everything that, you put into like, even though the Star Wars game, I know it released and it had some quality issues or whatever. If you could put if you could make sure that the imagination and passion and the love for like making really good games also went into, I don't know, your sports games rather than just turning them into microtransaction hell or maybe
copy pasta.
Yeah, or whatever else, you know what I mean? Like, I get that there's not like a lot that you can do with sports games specifically, but there has to be something better. And it's like you've literally just boiled your sports games down to casinos.
Yeah, it is, and I'm seeing a lot of people bring up developers in the chat like BioWare, which true BioWare. There for a time, it was an instant buy. It was an instant buy. A BioWare game was a good quality game. You were getting something good. And people say Blizzard. You can go on and on and on. I think what it boils down to is it's like when they do something for so long, they become complacent, right? Because you've heard the story about BioWare Magic, right? They thought that it would help them with Anthem and Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, it was just all going to come together. It was all just going to happen.
I didn't know a single person that wasn't bullish on Anthem, except for me. Like, I wasn't. Like, even though I loved BioWare games, when they announced Anthem, like, especially after seeing Destiny, right? Because Destiny had already came out before Anthem.
Yep.
I realized that EA and BioWare were just trying to copy what Destiny was doing and do their own version of it. Mm-hmm. And the minute that I realized that they were, like, the minute that I saw it, and I was just like, oh, this is just Destiny. And I'm like, oh, they're just copying what Bungie's doing. Oh, this is gonna suck. Because you're just chasing smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is they get complacent with their development, and it's not just the studio themselves; it's the company that's over them. Got complacent with what they could put out, and not giving them the time, and because they just, like I said, they've always made good games. So now they're just like, okay, yeah, just go make the game. It's going to be good, whatever, and not really keeping track on that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, oversight's a really big thing, man.
Let me use the restroom real quick.
Oh wow! So we're going. So guess what, guys? Mark's gone. Let's play Pac-Man. I'm kidding. So I think oversight's a really big thing, especially when he's talking about, like, trying to make sure that games succeed. And yeah, I have a video that's going to be coming out. I have a video that's coming out Monday that you guys are probably going to really like, because it kind of culminates this entire conversation that we've had around Baldur's Gate 3, like the AAA industry and a bunch of other things. But one of the things that I noticed is that people are just kind of, like, really losing track of what the core of this discussion really needs to be around, and, like, how we can get better products if we just continue to talk about what we want, but we talk about it more clearly. Because, like, that's one of the things that I noticed is that we don't have very clear communication when we're talking about developers about the things that we want. The stuff that ends up getting across to developers ends up being, like, really unrealistic shit. Like, wanting to be able to explore the entire surface of a planet in Starfield with seamless tile generation. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that, and it's just like, well, that's not realistic, man. That's not like we need to think about things in the scope of how these projects actually work out in the first place.
I mean, look at Skyrim. You had a loading screen just entering someone's hut. You know what I mean? It may have been fast, but it was still a loading screen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how people expect that engine to be able to have that massive an area and then just be able to walk around a whole globe. You know what I mean? It's crazy that we'd have to render the whole effing thing just for you to be able to do that. It's crazy.
I mean, it's already impressive with the engine, because they're still using the creative engine.
Yeah.
So it's called.
Yeah.
It's impressive that even still with this engine that they've been using for how long? 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years that they've been able to upgrade it to the point that it's going to be able to render what it's going to render in the first place. Like, how massive Starfield is going to be. It's going to be really cool. I'm excited for the game. I'm also excited because I feel like it's going to be good. I feel like it's going to be a really positive note to end the year on, so far as, like, hot games that came out this year. I actually do feel like
Baldur's Gate. That's all. I think Baldur's Gate deserves Game of the Year.
Baldur's Gate 3 deserves Game of the Year, regardless of how good Starfield is. Even if Starfield is, like, the best Bethesda game ever in existence, Larian Studios still deserves Game of the Year and any other possible awards that it can give, specifically because of the fact that it's more of a statement. It's an industry statement more than it is anything else. For you to be able to achieve what they've achieved with a classic RPG, a classic turn-based RPG, is unbelievable. And they deserve every accolade that they can earn.
Yeah. So that's my dark urge, hate, my shade that I'm throwing at Starfield. Like, I want you to be good, but I don't want you to be that good. Like, I want Baldur's Gate to win.
I just hope Starfield's NPCs are slightly better than the Redfall ones. I think they're going to be. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna expect too much from the NPCs in a Bethesda game. We've already seen like the close-ups and stuff. They still just have that like super generic
What do you mean?
Conversation. Yeah, exactly, just like that. Yeah, I NPCs is not their strong point. It's not their strong point. Dialogue is not their strong point.
Yeah. Their storytelling's not the greatest, but it's the experience that's really good. What they're really good at.
Yes. You know, something else that I think is going to be a sleeper hit this year that I'm really looking forward to. What's that? Lords of the Fallen.
Yes, that looks really cool.
I actually think Lords of the Fallen's going to be like really good. I have a feeling. I've got a feeling.
I think. Well, it's already better than its first game. Its first game was horrible.
Yeah. Oh, I remember playing that one. I remember people trying to like talk me in to how. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. My bad, guys. Just gave you a black screen for no reason. I remember a couple of people like tried to talk me into play because wasn't it co-op?
I don't think so.
Lord of the Fallen or something, whatever. They're just like, so we fucked up that first one. We're just gonna add an S to it and try again.
Yeah.
But like Lords of the Fallen actually looks really legit. Like especially if you've seen any of the like actual gameplay that they've shown. Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple interviews where they've talked to people. They put a lot of effort.
Super cool too.
They put a lot of effort into it. They've really changed it up from what it was before. And I genuinely do think that it's going to be a difference maker because that comes out this year too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Dude, I am going to be
October.
I don't think I'm going to buy any games next year.
Well, to be honest with you, I've still probably got 400 to 500 hours of Baldur's Gate to go. Starfield, I don't know how long that game is, so I can't tell you. But I imagine, me being a huge space nerd, I'm just gonna be flying around finding stuff. So I could spend years in a game like that. You know what I mean? So depending on how big it is.
Yeah.
In this game, I thought the death mechanic was really cool with that lantern. So when you die, you just go to the underworld type deal and kind of fight your way back out. But then you can also use that lantern in the living world to see the other side. So I think that's going to be kind of a cool deal. Did you see any of Crimson Desert at all at the Gamescom stuff?
I did look at Crimson Desert. Dude. I thought Crimson Desert looks fucking sick, but it's just it's one of those games. So Crimson Desert's an interesting story, right? Because initially when Crimson Desert was announced, it was going to be an MMO. It was basically going to be your Black Desert Online replacement. Yeah. Because it's the same people that make Black Desert Online. However, now they have since repositioned Crimson Desert to be a MO plus is what it's classified as.
Okay.
So a massively open plus. People.
Yeah. It's got plus stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just thought how fluid the combat is. You know what I mean? It just looked really, really sharp.
Well, I mean, it looks like every video game all in one game.
It does. I mean, they are parachuting or skydiving in a,
well, this
fantasy.
is Crimson Desert. Is it a South Korean company? Probably.
Yes, it is.
That makes sense. Because they do that a lot. They do that whole like we're gonna put every video game in one game kind of thing. I don't know if you've noticed that. Lost Ark does a lot of that kind of stuff too, actually. I appreciate it, dude. I think it's great if you can incorporate that many different type of mechanics into a game, and make it all make sense and make it all interesting. Hell yeah! But yeah, no, the combat looks insane. Like the cinematic quality of playing this game, like it looks like you're playing a movie or something like that. Like,
it looks really
and by movie, I don't mean like graphically it looks like a movie. I mean like action wise, where it's just like it's that dynamic with like camera movement and stuff like that. Yeah, it's interesting.
It looks so fluid. It just looks
so nice. It's going to be a massively open world game.
Okay.
That also has seamless integration with other players, but it's not an MMO.
Seamless integration. So that means drop in maybe co-op type stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows actually, because they really haven't explained it. So yeah, really nobody knows. It's one of those things where like there's definitely some more research and stuff to be done on it. I think I'm actually gonna start covering Crimson Desert. I'll put a poll up probably on the whatchamacallit, the community tab. Gauge people's interest in it and see if they want me to cover it all, and I'll do a deep dive on the game and see what I can find out about it.
And then in our Just Gaming podcast episode 300, we'll be able to talk about Ashes of Creation. So it should be pretty awesome. See you in 12 years.
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't like a 12-year game. This is something that's coming out next year, I think. So,
yeah, it is.
And the thing is that like if it can deliver on what it's showing to promise, and this is all gameplay too, right?
Is it okay? Is it a free to play?
I don't.
That's gonna be my biggest. That's gonna be my biggest kick because Black Desert is very much paywall. Very.
Yeah, but I've
paywall.
also heard from a lot of people that Black Desert's a lot of fun.
It is, but it's a lot of.
I've never actually played Black Desert.
I have.
Just because like the minute that I smell pay to win, I just
revolt. But like if this is a $70, God, I hate that I just said that without even thinking. A $70 title.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
If it's a $70 title, I'm all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
if
I 100%
it's free to play,
agree.
I'm not playing it. That's just the way I'm rolling with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Benny? Welcome to the show, man. So yeah, this is definitely one that's on my radar for sure. It was one of the more impressive trailers that I've seen over the last few days. Like just the amount of shit that's going on here, the amount of things that you can do. Yeah, skydiving, and you know, islands to explore and different dimensions, and like the magic system looks really cool. There's just a lot to like there. What else was there? There was something else that I saw at Gamescom that I was also really excited for.
Path of Exile 2.
No, that looked really boring.
Yeah.
Honestly, that looked like a game for like babies.
Yeah. It's probably on mobile.
Like a baby game.
Like for big babies that like
big baby game. All right, we can talk about POE2.
Yeah.
So, Path of Exile 2.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, as two people that are incredibly engaged in Path of Exile 1 and are actually like subject matter experts on Path of Exile. I feel it's a good idea for us to talk about Path of Exile 2.
I'm just like I'm here's what my hope is. My hope is that when we come in on the ground floor of this thing, we're not coming into a game 8 years into it and we have no idea what the fuck's going on with mechanics. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we have no clue.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I'm like really excited for Path of Exile 2 next year is specifically because of the fact that we actually get the opportunity to like get it on the ground floor, and I don't have to feel like really bad about the fact that I just don't understand Path of Exile 1. I have a full-time job and can't take the time to figure out actually how to play Path of Exile 1.
Yeah. I hate watching guides. I hate it. I hate it more than anything. And I'm not. I just refuse to do it. So
it's like one of the things that I really appreciate about our community is that like I brought it up in a video where I was like, hey guys, I can't do guides. I'm not gonna do like, hey guys, all right, I need to tell you about this super epic meta build. Like
the like, best staff to get in Baldur's Gate.
If you do not have this staff, then you are an actual loser. Your wife is going to leave you, your house is going to catch fire, and you will lose your job. So it's one of those things where it's like I really appreciate that people can get behind us on that and like not have to worry about us trying to make that kind of content, because that takes a lot. Hey man, hats off to the guys that can pull that stuff off. But they got a lot of time on their hands to be able to do so, because like you have to do a lot of experimenting to be able to.
Well, they have a crew of people that help do that stuff. They have to. There's no way.
Niboja? I'm gonna hope that I said that right. Otherwise, I will feel terrible.
Where that's from?
That's well, it's $10. Thank you for the super chat. $10 or €10 says great channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Everybody's been so supportive and so cool lately, man. It's been so much fun these last 2 months have been an absolute blast. Especially after doing YouTube now for like over a year. You know what I mean? We're not. I guess it's like over a year for the podcast, but like not for the videos. The videos started at the beginning of the year, but yeah, it's
ding fucking dong kills me.
Yeah. So but it's been really cool how supportive everybody's been, and I'm glad that you guys have been enjoying everything. So it's been rad. It's been rad. So Path of Exile 2, continuing on. So it's a game that I'm definitely excited for because I feel like we can get in on the ground level, and I feel like it's going to be a lot easier to understand the game when we're learning it with everybody else.
Yeah, and what I'm most excited about is the mechanics of the game, just the actual being able to, play the game. When you're gonna have multiple weapons that have like you can basically have a fire, like let's say you were a caster, you could have a fire staff and an ice staff. When you hit the skill, it's gonna automatically switch to that weapon, so you don't have to weapon swap. You can actually, your build can be far more versatile than just you're going around looking for one go-to item. You know what I mean? My build is all pinned off of this one weapon, and that's my build, like Diablo. And so you actually get to create, and that's my favorite part of ARPGs, is just creating a build that works for me, my play style, and what I enjoy doing. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, you just overloaded me with information there. I wasn't expecting that response.
Sorry.
I was like, man, this dude just fucking geeked out hard on the build
I
stuff.
did, dude. That's why it's another reason I love this community. This community is full of people like me, just nerdy, geeky people that love video games and love talking about them. Like Nyx in the Discord, always dropping a little bit of knowledge about Baldur's Gate. Always, every day, I'll go and say, let's see what Nyx is up to, and just see what they dropped in there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, no, the build diversity stuff is really cool. The active weapon swaps and stuff. But
rolling.
I'm just excited to be able to get in on this on the ground floor, and then be able to kind of grow with the game later, because it definitely is a game that I will probably play seasonally. Like once I understand it and really get it, I definitely could see myself playing it as a seasonal, like a regular seasonal game. Beyond that, the game itself, POE2, like every time I see another trailer for this, it always looks better than it did the last time.
Yep, it is
gorgeous. Like, initially, I just really liked the way like the game looked, like graphically the game looked when I was watching some of like the first couple of trailers, and then now that they're showing like some of this more in-depth gameplay that they showed over at Gamescom, like the abilities and how abilities work. But not only that, it's not just how abilities work, it's also how abilities work while your character is in specific movement as well. Yeah. So like one of the things that they showed off with this druid is like if you're in druid bear form and you go to use an attack like maul, which is where the druid will stand on its hind legs and slash, it actually uses its pound, which is where it stomps the ground. That fires off faster because you're already on your hind legs. If you're on the ground already on all fours and then you use pound, it takes longer to cast that ability because you have to get on your hind legs first and then slam down. So you even have like animate. So you even have the ability to do like animation optimization for your combos and stuff like that. And I think that is so cool because that provides so much more of a personalized experience for everyone, depending on like what kind of build they're going for, what kind of character they like to play, and it just makes it for like a way more immersive experience because the game is reacting more realistically than not. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not to mention like I'm super digging like the ground effects and stuff like that, and like just like the spell effects and everything. I think the game just looks really good.
Well, this is what I was talking about. If you watch the bear, he's actually breathing. You know what I mean? If you look at like just the animation that they did on each thing, that it's so much more detail put into this, like crafting wise, like for the craft of making the video game. It's like it looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That bear could definitely kick Diablo's bear's ass. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's already doing more damage than it.
Yeah, my dad could kick your dad's butt. And this is my dad now. He's my new dad.
This is my new dad. This is my new dad bear.
My new dad bear.
So POE2 is definitely something that I'm really excited for. I just I feel like Diablo 4 has kind of let me down. Not kind of. Diablo 4 let me down. And there's a discussion to be had when looking at Path of Exile. And when people are like, oh, well, you know, what more could have Diablo done? Well, it's pretty obvious looking at Path of Exile that the people working on Path of Exile love Path of Exile. They're given the time to breathe, the time to make some really cool and unique mechanics and things like that. There's like, as much as wasn't PoE their first project? Yeah, PoE was their very first game, and now they're making PoE2. But one of the things is that like think about this. Can anybody tell me what did Diablo 4 do that was unique that you don't see in other games? What's something unique or innovative about Diablo 4? I'm not saying don't think about it like ironically to make a joke. I mean, Mark, like actually think about it. Stop doing the weird eye thing. Fucking slap you through the screen.
I'm searching.
No, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I was actually desperately trying to ask this question before. And
I'll give you one. They made a coherent story for an ARPG. Most ARPGs don't have a coherent story. That's the one thing that they added to Diablo 4 that most ARPGs don't have.
Have you never played Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2?
Hey, get off your fucking soapbox, all right?
I'm just saying. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, I think, had a great story. I mean, obviously it wasn't as cinematic, and it was also fucking 20 years old, but still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also on top of that, I would say Diablo 2's story was relatively coherent. Diablo 3 was, I mean, palatable, I guess. Played D4 free play test for 2 hours, then deleted it, went back to D2, resurrected. PoE, coherent story, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure it does. I don't know. We've had that discussion. We probably do need to like try to finish a Path of Exile.
Dude, I don't have that kind of time.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna do it just to make sure that I can do it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, that's right. You could draw hot dogs in the snow in Diablo 4.
You said to not make an ironic joke. And then you fucking made an ironic joke.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give you that one. So yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's just like, but now when you look at Path of Exile, like, there's a ton of different innovative things that they're already showing off to begin with. Like being able to cast faster animations if you're already in the movement to do that animation in the first place. The character's already up on their hind legs. They're going to cast an ability that requires them to be on their hind legs faster if that's going to be the case. The ability for them to be able to literally switch builds on the fly by just switching your weapon, but also allow that to be a part of the mechanics of playing the game to begin with, so you actually can switch builds while fighting.
It's so awesome, dude.
Which is
that
crazy.
Right there's gonna be so excited.
Yeah, like that already is like a really, really cool, like a lot of innovation, a lot of thought has gone into this, and I really appreciate that. I also really like with Path of Exile 2, their overworld thing where you're like kind of like a pirate ship thing you got going on, where you're going to be able to just travel to areas across the map with your boat. I think that's really cool.
A la Lost Ark.
Kind of something like that. I mean, you don't actually do the sailing like across the world or anything like that, but yeah, something similar where you have a very large overworld map. It's not going to be like they're not doing it the same way they did Path of Exile, the first one, where you're just traversing one single map from square to square to square. I definitely appreciate that kind of thing. It adds a little bit more diversity into the gameplay. Yeah. Diablo 4 and Path of Exile is for 2 different players. True.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they do. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean that Diablo 4 gets a pass to be uninspired. You know what? Let's talk about Diablo 4 actually. Let's talk about Diablo 4.
Okay. October 17th, when all of the patches come out that are now features in the game.
And as someone who's
no! Why did I do that? No! Stop that! I tried to open up a video and it opened up the wrong one. So yeah, let's talk about Diablo a little bit. I'll play some like older clips of Diablo in the background. How about that? All right. Mute this real quick and get this all set up for us.
You're right, audio. Diablo does hold your hand very well. It is a good entry point for people coming into an ARPG. I give it that. It does do that. It's the Apple of ARPGs.
Yeah, no, it holds my... So, okay. Diablo 4, the reason why I have issues with it is because initially I thought it was a good thing that they were being safe. And they were being safe because of the fact that they wanted to make something that would be palatable for all audiences. They wanted to try to make something that was a great entry point for all kinds of different people to be able to get into and people to be able to join. They made an open world, and they also made it a live service game, an open world MMO light live service game. But that wasn't actually for the players. That was for monetization. Otherwise, you're not paying for skins or a battle pass.
Yeah.
Does that sound accurate?
That's accurate.
If it wasn't for the open world, yeah. If it wasn't for the open world, they couldn't justify giving us a battle pass, and that way and also like a skin shop. Even though Path of Exile get away with it too, but still.
But Path of Exile isn't a $70 title.
Yeah, exactly. So, one, I don't like it because like I'm mad about Diablo 4 specifically because they forced their own hand in a lot of situations, specifically to be able to try to mold the game around monetization, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So they kind of screwed the pooch there, but they also made the game like too safe that there's no spice, there's nothing innovative about this game.
It's too vanilla.
It's too vanilla, and there just really isn't a lot. To the point where they realize that, and now they have to backpedal, and that's why Season 2 of Diablo 4, they're already talking about it, and they're not even 1 month in or 1 full month in on, or I guess they are. Are they out 1 full month in yet? No, it came out August, right? August 8th?
No.
Season 1. When did Season 1 start? I thought Season...
July.
Yeah. No,
July.
When did I go on vacation? Oh, it was July, wasn't it?
Why does he always argue with me, Chad?
Because it feels good.
July. The 17th. I think it was July 17th. October 17th will be exactly calendar-wise 3 months for the next season.
Okay. So, I mean, but they're already advertising Season 2 because they know that Season 1 was a bust. Right?
Yeah.
Can we say that safely?
No, we can proclaim that safely. You don't even have to say it. You can proclaim it. Yes.
I mean, otherwise they wouldn't be holding emergency live meetings, right? Or emergency live letters.
No.
Campfire chats.
They sent that to Gamescom to be shown. You know what I mean? Like it's to get ahead of it.
Yeah. So Season 2 of Diablo 4 is quite literally, when you look at everything that's on the list, again, it's going to be a very unimaginative, very unfun Season 2. That's really just not going to bring it. I'm like already looking at what they're offering. It's already something that it's not going to make the game interesting enough to want to jump in for a season. But what it does offer are things that should have been in the game since the game's release. Like the ability to be able to, they're like new features coming to the game, be able to re-challenge bosses, be able to do this, gem tab, more storage, things like that. And it's just like, these are seasonal features this is what you guys are like, season 2 guys, isn't this awesome? And it's like, so seasons in Diablo 4 are literally just bug fixes. That's what you get that's what you get forward to look to. Or that's what you be, I don't know. I can't even fucking talk. My brain's fried. That's what you're looking forward to with seasonal patches for Diablo 4. So, but this is again one of those things where they screwed themselves, because if they would have just, I don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is the best Blizzard can make.
I hope not. I don't like saying that, to be honest with you. I don't like saying that at all. I know there's a lot of people that still love this game. I don't hate this game. I just like I'm done with it. Like I've played it. That's where I'm at with it. Like it doesn't have anything left to offer me.
Yeah.
And until it does, until there's a season that actually offers me something, yeah.
I think Diablo 4 will be really fun to go back to in like a year.
I'm hoping. I mean, you know what would have been cool for Season of the Blood if they would have added that cool ass character that they put in Diablo Immortal. That would have been cool. The vampire.
Yeah, they could, but that's going to cost you probably at least $39.95.
Okay.
You know what I mean? $39.95. I think that sounds fair, right?
That sounds fair.
That sounds fair. Yeah. So initially I was really, really optimistic about Diablo 4. I was also very very charitable with the game, and I've talked about that in the past. I made a lot of videos that were being really positive about Diablo 4 because I was looking forward to the game. But to be fair, I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't really hip to Blizzard because I just hadn't paid attention to their games or their community that much. Like, I just really wasn't into it. This is also like when I first started making videos too, right? So most of the time I was just making videos where I'm just like, "Hi guys, I'm really excited about this game. I'm gonna talk to you about this."
Hey there, guys.
I'm gonna talk to you about this game that I'm really excited about. I watched one of my first videos last night, and it's so funny, like seeing like the washed out camera. It's panned back. You see my vacuum cleaner like in the video.
Yeah,
like
that vacuum cleaner was like with the coat hanging on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. But I was really excited about Diablo 4. I didn't really realize like just how bad the state of Blizzard was. You hear gamers talk about a company, and they're going to be like really hyperbolic about it. But I hate to say that they're pretty right on the head when it comes to Blizzard anymore. And it's actually not the fact that like, I think, how do I word this properly? I don't think that they have the ability to be creative anymore, because that's not where their interests are.
Yeah,
that's not where the funding.
The corporate interest is not excited about them making new IP. It's excited about just
milking what's there.
Run it back. Just
run it back. Milk what's there. Do what you can. Outside of that,
neglecting your family is tight.
But that's why what I'm saying is that they just try to make stuff that are trying to hold on to players' attention as much as possible, but they do it in like what they believe to be the most safe ways possible, so that they don't like experiment too much, because they just don't really believe in innovation at all.
They just wanted the next Fortnite, man. That's what they wanted.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's what it boils down. Anytime I hear live service game, that's initially what I think about. I think about your Fortnites, your Apex Legends, stuff like that. Just like everybody wants to be the next of that. It doesn't have to be that genre. It doesn't have to be a battle royale, but the next live service game. I mean, why do you think Sony wants to have 10 live service games? It isn't. It's because one of them will stick.
Part of the research that I did for my last video, Blizzard made $1.2 billion in 2021 just on microtransactions alone.
Yeah.
Just on microtransactions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's not shocking.
Billion, right? That's with a B.
With a B.
That's with a B. Yeah. So that's a lot of money. And the worst part is that like we've also been kind of trained over the years that like microtransactions aren't that bad, guys. It helps them keep the servers up. It helps them continue development of the game. It helps them do this. It helps them do that, which is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't take $1.2 billion to keep servers up. It doesn't.
Well, and here's the thing: it'd be different. And like, I'm even talking about like with a cut of with a cut of profit, right? Like, obviously, you want to make some profit too, but we're talking about like you are overpaid. You are overpaid. I did see somebody else bring up something else. This is kind of like off topic, but I wouldn't mind talking about it. They're talking about like, what do you think about the future of Destiny 2?
Oh my God.
Personally, with their track record and like how they've treated the Destiny community for a while, like it's weird because like in some ways I feel like they're like really good-hearted with their like their letters that they do, but then also at the same time, I don't know. Like, to be honest with you, I could fully see after this like this last expansion, them not doing anything else, or maybe doing something that's just gonna like put the game into maintenance mode, and then they're just gonna fully ship out to Marathon.
Yeah, I think so. Like, a lot of people give Bungie and Destiny a lot of credit for having, it's a wildly popular played game. It really is. There aren't any other developers that I know that the community would be okay with them stealing content that you paid for. Right? So the second, third expansions gone out of the game, because they don't want the game to have so much bloat, right? But you paid for that content that now you can't access. You can't run that content. Secondly, from that, they've taken parts of all the content and make you replay that same content for the last 10 years, 8 years, whatever. It's like, I think Destiny is getting close to done. I think the community's kind of fed up with all the stuff that they do. I play the game. I just uninstalled it. I just recently stopped playing it, probably 2-3 weeks ago. It's a fun game, but I think I agree with you. I think they're gonna just move on to something else.
Yeah, so there's a couple. So the thing is that like what I realized that I like about Destiny is the actual like moment to moment gameplay.
Yeah, the combat's awesome.
Yeah, the game, and that's just like, that's hallmark Bungie, is just like really good feeling first person shooter gameplay. And that's what I've always really enjoyed about it. However, like you said, or like you brought up, we talk about like how scummy like a lot of these companies can be, especially when we talk about like Activision, Blizzard, and companies like that. There aren't many companies that are so scummy as to remove content you paid for. Like full expansions.
Yep.
That you don't have access to any of that anymore. If you wanted to go replay it or whatever, you don't have access to it. And that's just the nature of these live service games, and their complete disinterest in like retaining like game history, right?
And the fact you at the start screen, when they do that, you click a button that says, "Do you agree to terms?" Because you're not going to sit there and read 400 pages of terms. You just said, "Yep, it's okay. Take my money. Take what I've purchased. I'm good."
Yeah, a whole game, Overwatch 2. That's actually true. Yeah, I take that back. You're right. Overwatch 2. Yeah, they did just completely negate the fact that people paid money for Overwatch 1. Yeah. So you're right. You're right. Yeah. Blizzard is just as scummy. Yeah. But it takes a special kind of company to do that kind of stuff. Future of RPG games looks promising. Future of RPG games actually does look really good, to be honest with you.
It looks amazing.
Like, there's a lot of really good stuff that's already on the way. I was trying to look up. I need to look up more stuff on Rogue Trader. I feel like I want to follow that game. Have you looked at anything about it or no?
Rogue Trader? No, you had mentioned something about it on Friday.
Yeah, Rogue Trader is it's a Warhammer 40K CRPG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will 100% check that out.
It is made by Owlcat.
Okay.
Owlcat Games.
The problem with Warhammer is they license their shit to anybody. They don't take any kind of like. They're not
I know.
any selective at all. They'll let anybody make a Warhammer game, and then you're just
for real, like,
screwed.
And they let these jokers that made Pathfinder make this game.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general. Do you not remember the bad one we played? You made me buy it.
I hate you. I hate you. There's been so many times where Mark has been like, dude, so there's this game. It looks really good, man. Yeah, I've been following it. I've been checking it out. It looks really good. I think we're going to love this. And I'm like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, just buy it. We'll play it together. Okay. So we buy this like Warhammer ARPG that was absolute just dog ass.
You just weren't good at it. That's why you didn't like it.
I wasn't good at it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Whatever you say. So yeah, I've been slowly but surely following or getting up to speed at least on Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader is made by Owlcat Games. Owlcat is the same people that do Pathfinder, which I need to start playing some of the Pathfinder games.
I've got it.
I've heard that. Can we?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well then we'll probably do some co-ops to that after we finish Baldur's Gate 3 in 2 years. So I've been looking at it here and there, and it looks really good. I'm also like really interested in Warhammer because I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I'm not gonna pretend to be anybody I'm not. I don't know a damn thing about Warhammer.
Didn't there like a Warhammer hack and slash coming out that looks like super badass? Did I not see something like that, or am I just crazy?
There's the Warhammer Gears of War looking game.
Yeah, that one where you're just going through just fucking shit up. That looks pretty awesome.
It looks really slow.
Okay. Yeah, it sucks. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. We can go that way. I mean, for me, it looks really slow. I do really like the way the combat.
That's what it is.
Space I really Marine. Like the way the combat is shaping up in this. It's I'm hoping like a lot of these the CRPG actually really looks like it's taken a little bit of inspiration from their previous games. It's tile based.
Pathfinder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tile based rather than I actually do really prefer I prefer the more open-based combat of Larian. I don't mind tiles. Tiles are fine. At least tiles make it easier for you to know like who and what you're gonna hit with certain abilities and stuff like that. Whether or not you're at the right elevation to use certain moves and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Pathfinder. The Pathfinder games look really cool, so I'm really interested to play a couple of those. But Rogue Trader also looks really cool, and I'm just kind of looking forward to the opportunity to dive into Warhammer because it's something that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, that's fair. It looks. I think Henry Cavill loves it. That's his thing. Remember?
Yeah, and I like him.
That's why he wouldn't show up on set on The Witcher because he's too busy playing Warhammer.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like since he likes it, I must like it too, because me and him are like basically the same guy, same jawline.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are almost. I almost thought y'all were brothers when we first met. I was like,
yeah,
are you Henry Cavill? Oh no,
yeah,
no, you're just Ian.
Yeah. JD says, I'm so annoyed they made such a glorious game with Vermintide 2, but then they let it siphon out the programmers to repeat their mistakes, making the 40K version instead of improving it. I do need to actually, what's the other game? Darktide. We need to try Darktide sometime. I've heard a couple people say they really enjoyed it. I know that's 50-50. Some people like that. Some people like those kind of games. Other people don't. Unless you're playing XCOM, no hitting anything under 98%. 98% chance is like a 50-50. Oh, Jesus. Don't play Darktide? I don't know. All right. I guess I got to listen to you.
It's the same person that told us to play that Wilson. So
that is the same person that told us that Wilson was going to be the best game ever.
Yeah.
The Diablo killer.
Oh,
what a dumpster fire Wilson was.
Oh, that game is. That game had potential. It did. I
remember being so optimistic about the game's future, even though it wasn't very good at launch. When we got into early access, and I'm like, man, like they'll figure it out. And then I realized they were French.
Okay.
Like, never mind. This game's screwed. This game is screwed. What else do we have on the docket today, man? You have anything else you want to talk about?
We had yes. I want to talk about Baldur's Gate 3 coming to Xbox. That's what I want to talk about.
Everybody's over Baldur's Gate, man. That's last
Okay,
week's news.
it's not that it's not a good game. I just want to talk about how Xbox handled themselves in the whole situation when being called to the carpet.
Yeah, okay. So, no, I do want to talk about Baldur's Gate. A lot of different things about Baldur's Gate, to be honest, but we'll kind of tackle things piece by piece. So, let's talk about the Baldur's Gate Xbox news. All right?
Let's do it. Y'all remember the beginning of the podcast where he said he's going to ramp slowly up? This is where his head's about to explode. Right about here.
So, where do I even want to start with this? All right. Historically speaking, I've actually been relatively pro Xbox. I really do I like the idea of Game Pass. I think it's something that's great for the consumer, at least from an accessibility standpoint. It gives the opportunity for more players to try games and buy them rather than have to buy things. It's also a more affordable entry point for a lot of people to play more games, which I think is also something that's really cool. However, I told Mark about this, where I had watched, because I was actually researching for another video, and when I was doing my research, I came across some old clips of Xbox, and they're talking about the very first group they got together where they wanted to build a console. They were just getting the idea to come up with building their first console, and they're like, we're going to make the direct Xbox. And the reason why they wanted to make it was because the guys were super nerdy and they wanted better games to play on console, because they realized how hard of a time they were having programming games for consoles. So they thought, well, why isn't there a market for people to be able to use DirectX and then just directly play it on a console? And which means their initial idea to make the Xbox was to make a console that was easy for developers to make better games. So they believed that if they made a console that was really easy to develop for, it would enable developers to make even better video games by making their life easier. Fast forward to 2023, we are now in a position in which there is a console that is literally holding back gaming.
Yeah,
development scope in general, all of it, all across the board. This isn't just a one or two shot thing. This is everywhere. There's a console, the Xbox Series S, that is far limited in capacity to every other machine that's out there, including people on PC as well. And the problem is that because of the parity clause that they have between the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, which requires all modes, not features. It actually specifically doesn't mention features. Is a different word, so we want to be careful about that, because have you read their actual parity clause?
No, not the actual parity clause.
I have. In it specifically says game modes. No game is allowed to release without having all game modes that any other game on both the Xbox Series S and Series X can have. So if the Series S can't have a certain game mode because it can't run it, then they will not give it Xbox's stamp of approval, their certification for release on their console. Features is a different story, because that's the reason why they dance around with the word features, and they go, oh, well, Xbox Series S has the ray tracing feature, but not all Xbox Series S owners know that features aren't always going to be the same. So that's the excuse that they're using for co-op. However, directly reading from their clause, it actually says no game modes are allowed to differ between Xbox Series S and Series X. So this is actually in direct violation of their own policies and procedures. And my problem with it is the fact that Phil Spencer comes out and makes it sound like it's Larian's fault that co-op isn't available on the Series S, and also makes it seem like it's their fault that the game isn't coming out didn't come out on time. Specifically because of how he worded it.
Yeah.
He said
he worded it that way on purpose, yeah.
He said what did he say? Creators need to be more vigilant or something like that.
Here, I'm going to pull up it. I got the quote. Let me pull it up. That's why I pasted it in Discord. Let's see. That's the one I sent you.
I can't pull up Discord because if I switch Discord, then
no, you're good. You're good. Let's see.
Read it and weep. Yes, Curtis. Okay. They did send people over to help Larian work with this, which that makes it. I mean,
makes it worse.
What does that say? What does that say that even with Xbox engineers at Larian Studios trying to help them get split screen working on the Series S, they still weren't able to get it done. And the path that they chose to instead do is actually say, screw it, we'll just go ahead and release it on Xbox. And I think it's a great thing that they're releasing the game. Don't get me wrong on this.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, my problem is the fact that they're making it look like it's Larian's fault and that there's nothing wrong with the Series S.
Yeah. All right. So I'll read. I'm going to read from the top. This is the one that I posted, and I know it's a couple days old, but I just posted it just to get the actual quote because the quotes are in it. So today, however, Larian boss Sven announced that after speaking to Xbox head Phil Spencer at Gamescom, a solution has been agreed upon that will allow Baldur's Gate 3 Xbox release to happen this year. The compromise is simply that the Series S version will not include the split-screen co-op, but it will still all have all the cross-saves and all that stuff. Then it goes further on to say, confusingly, Spencer told Eurogamer earlier the same week that the Series SX parity wasn't what the Baldur's Gate 3 holdup was about. In terms of, and this is his quote, in terms of parity, I don't think you've heard from us or Larian that this was about parity. I think that's more that the community is talking about it. There are features that ship on X today that don't ship on S, even from our own games like ray tracing, yada yada yada. So for an S customer, they spent roughly half what the X customer bought. They understand that it's not going to run the same way. Then it goes on to say, we actually heard from Larian that it was about parity, though. Larian Director of Publishing, Michael Deuce, said in July that the studio couldn't remove split screen from the Series S version because it was obliged to launch with feature parity. That's the quote that he used.
Yeah, specifically, Sven Vinka said, we are not allowed to launch the Xbox version because of parity until we can get split screen working on the Series S.
Yep. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah. But what I'm talking about is what was the line from Phil Spencer, where he said we need to work more closely with
the partners.
With partners.
That's in my.
It was the first part of that sentence is what really pissed me off, because it was like partners need to work more diligently.
EP.
Or something like that. Like basically saying Larian Studios needs to work harder, and we need to work with Larian Studios, and then we won't have issues like this anymore. And it was something around those lines. I don't want to misquote, so I need to say it. I need to say it accurately. I think you sent it directly to me.
Yeah, I did.
In a message. I'm just going to pull it up from there. Because I don't want to misquote. I'm a guy that likes to be accurate, chat. All right? So I need you to bear with me for just a hot second so I can be accurate, Andy. All right? Here it is right here.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's something that is a fatal flaw of the system. It's partners prioritizing their time. Us listening to them and us being a good partner to them. It's partners prioritizing their time. So you're trying to tell me that Larian or other studios need to prioritize their time better to make sure that your lesser console is the first thing on their fucking priority list, to make sure that their games work properly so that they can pay attention to your parity clause while also actively fucking over the rest of the consumers, the PC owners, the PlayStation owners, everybody else. Oh no, the rest of the industry needs to get on their knees and we're sorry. Fuck off, dude. That shit is so, that shit triggers the fuck out of me. I cannot believe he fucking worded it that way. I have always been a champion of Spill Fencer.
He's Swedish. Spill Fencer.
I've always liked Phil Spencer because I always felt like he was a true gamer, and I always thought that he was somebody that was always looking out for the best for the consumer. Like, he just wanted to give gamers more games. However, the thing is that in their folly of wanting to, in the Xbox, with the Xbox One wanting to be a entertainment device, and then now the Xbox Series X and Series S wanting to be the Netflix of gaming, they have completely lost the plot. They have left the farm. They are fucking gone. The only thing that they care about is profitability and making sure that they can stay ahead of the market. Otherwise, they wouldn't have let so many other things slip. And now you're also expecting the rest of the industry to just bow down and take and take care of your needs. Prioritize our needs. They need to prioritize better. No, I'm sorry, but Larian Studios was prioritizing trying to make a really good fucking game. For them to for him to say it like that is just like, I don't know if he meant that purposefully or if he just worded that poorly. I'm going to hope he worded that poorly. Otherwise, if that's how Xbox thinks and that's how privileged they are, that's fucking ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's absurd. And we've, like I said, I don't want to bash Xbox, but we've been beating the drum about how this S is holding everything back. And for him to come out and not take any kind of onus on it, and it's even the way that he talks about the S customers, the consumers. It's like, oh, they know they only spent half of much as what the X is, so they should be, expecting to get half of the quality or the half of that game or whatever, missing stuff. But why is the game cost the same on both consoles then?
That's very true. And that's also something like not a lot of people are talking about. If you know that you're getting a lesser experience on the Xbox Series S, even more so to the point now that you're actually not even getting game modes, why are players still getting charged $70 full price for a game? Or I guess it's probably $60 for...
It's $60
for Baldur's Gate because, Isn't it funny how we're paying $60 for a game that has more game in it, more enjoyable game in it than like any...
I know Larian's just listening to us talk right now, but I would have spent $200.
Well, no, it's like there's just so many games that came out over the last year that were like $70 and were not worth $70.
No,
in a year that you could have bought Redfall for $70 and also Baldur's Gate 3 for $60 is insane.
Redfall had a $100 option.
I know it did. Yeah.
Okay.
Who was the first company that really that first triggered the $70 thing?
Well, a lot of people blame Sony for doing it. I think they did it first on console. Yeah. But then like everybody was just waiting for somebody to do it, and then 2K jumped on it.
Yeah, somebody's just waiting for the shoe to fall.
Yeah, everybody just started just pop doing it. So
yeah, that's not it's not an American game prices, sadly enough. That's actually just something that was just kind of across the board, started by Sony first, and then everybody else triggered it. They all wanted to do it. Anytime
they all did.
Anytime
they all
get the opportunity to do so.
This is a business, man, and I get it. It's a business. They are providing us with what they're supposed to be providing us with is with a quality product. And so, and me and Ian had a talk about this on his stream, and I don't know why I started just right when I got on his stream on Friday, I was just like, I was fired up about it.
Full of fire and brimstone.
Because you even brought it up about like the dev who responded to Destin Liguri deal about how Baldur's Gate needs to set the standard and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's
right?
Video for Monday. Yeah.
And like I don't disagree, but the guy's response to it was, well, the consumer just doesn't know how games are made. They don't understand what they're asking for, and I don't like the way he put it, but it would be awesome And it's not even necessary because that's a kind of an entitled thought to even have. But it would be awesome if developers would have those conversations with people. You know what I mean? That's why, like, with like early access with Baldur's Gate, it works because the player's getting to give input. You know what I mean? But it would be nice to have that sort of relationship with developers. But Twitter's Twitter, right? You can't have anything nice anymore.
No.
But no, like they're supposed to supply us with a quality product, period, for our money. It doesn't matter if it's a $30 game, a $40 game, if it's a $10 game, it should still be worth what you give it. You know what I mean? And are you going to value something more than others think? Yes. But still, it should still be worth the money that they're trying to get from you. So.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And the other thing is that, like, there was the argument before where people were talking about, like, how it's been a long time since game prices have changed, and inflation and stuff like that play into mind. But we're also not talking about, like, the processes to make games in the first place. We're also not talking about how much money that these companies waste on things that are completely unnecessary. Something that I break down in the video that's going to come out on Monday is that, like, we see, like, and it was something that was revealed to us during the CMA trials, right? Where we saw that Horizon Zero Dawn, or Horizon Forbidden West, cost like $220 million to produce, but then you look and it says that there was like $80 to $120 million that was reserved for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
For marketing, guys. Which means that there's a chance that the game actual budget was anywhere from 80 to 100 million. That's insane. That's a huge difference. And like, it didn't really pop in. It really didn't make a lot of sense to me until I actually took the time to think about it critically. And you look at a game like Diablo 4. They had murals painted all over major cities. They took over all of Times Square with advertisements. They reconstructed a French church with Michelangelo-style paintings of Diablo 4 across the entire cathedral, and then paid the biggest K-pop star in the world and Halsey to write a fucking song about Diablo 4 and make a fully fleshed out music video for the game. They paid Megan Fox to read hardcore deaths.
You watch your tone about Miss Fox, okay? Like,
you get what I'm saying. Like, look at all of these different things that were included in what we would call the development budget of a game. However, like, bring absolutely no value to the player at all. You know what I mean? Like, did any of that money go into making Diablo 4 a better game? Did any of that money go into making any of these games a better game when you're spending $80 to $100 million for something that you could easily have marketed a completely different way? Look at Larian Studios. Everything for them was either viral marketing or content creators.
Yep.
Or themselves just doing their live letters and stuff like that, their panels from hell. They didn't do, and outside of that, the only other things that I've seen is like voice actors going and doing like cameos on podcasts and stuff like that, interviews and things like that they've done. But outside of that, like, it really hasn't been anything crazy. Like, you don't see banners in the sky promoting Baldur's Gate 3. You don't see billboards with Baldur's Gate 3.
Larian's Bear was the best viral marketing this summer.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I mean, hey, man, sometimes you gotta show off something a little spicy to get people going.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's just a sad state of things. You want to talk about the Dark and Darker or no?
I'm not really super interested.
It's just like
weird drama
side
stuff.
Note.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about it. I gotta use the bathroom anyway.
Yeah. It's just a side note. We talked about Dark and Darker last week about them still being in like legality stuff with Nexus. Not Nexus mod. What is wrong with me? Anyway,
Nexon.
They're still under legality problems because it was a canceled game. Short deal. It's a canceled game, but they stole all the assets from it. It's basically a stolen game. Now, PUBG, the publisher for PUBG, is buying the licensing rights from Iron Mace to put it on mobile. So they just went ahead and bought the licensing rights, expecting this to go on mobile and just be like a thing. The article said that they were going to keep like a close track of what's going on with the court case on it, but they've already paid the licensing rights to put it on mobile, which is crazy to me. Like, something's in the public, it's stolen, and it's just in the public. It's crazy. Other than that, why he's gone. So I think he said we have 2 copies to give away. So let's go ahead and do the first one. So everybody in the chat, please comment with a number 1, and please don't comment any other comments. It makes it way more difficult for me to filter out stuff. So if you want to win a copy of Baldur's Gate 3 for PC, hit a 1 in the comment section, and I'll get that going. And thanks again for donating these. Ooh. Yeah, Tom, I just asked you not to do that, Tom. I literally just asked you not to do that, and you did.
Why would you trust Tom to begin with?
I don't know.
Tom, this is why I don't give you mod.
You don't listen.
Give it a few more seconds. Type 1s in chat if you guys want to be entered in to win a copy of Baldur's Gate for Steam. Steam. Steamy Steam.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird that they just bought the rights like that for it. Knowing that it's still under litigation.
So, to be honest with you, I think it's a solid gamble, because if they can,
if it goes through, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, if it goes through, then yeah, people are going to absolutely go bonkers. You know what I mean? Like, if it goes through and they actually win the case, then they're good to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would be doing the same thing if I were them. I'd be doing the exact same thing.
Did well, I need to wait till they're done with the ones. I was going to ask the chat a question, but I don't want any. I don't want to have to sit there and delete messages.
Again, seeing people kind of come in and out. Ones in chat if you guys want to be considered for a free copy of Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam. How this is going to work is this going to be a little bit different than last time, since this is a community member that made the donation, one of our Discord members. What we're going to have to do is you're going to have to message me through Discord. So you have to join the community Discord, which is linked in the comments, or linked in the description of this video. You have to make sure that you're on the Discord, and you will have to direct message me, and then I will add you on Steam and then gift you the game from there. That's how this is going to work. You're going to add me on Steam, and then I'm going to gift you the game from Steam. Since this is a community one, I don't have keys on this one. The other ones I had keys that I got from an unknown source. It takes 2 or 3 days to receive a Steam gift, FYI.
I've never had one take longer than a couple of minutes.
How long were you friends with the person?
Who, me?
Yeah, how long were you friends with the person on Steam?
I bought Topper a copy 2 days ago, and we just became friends that day, or then, and then I sent it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right, I'm going.
All right, one's in chat. We're gonna cut it off. Mark's gonna do his count and get everything all set up. So here's the dealio. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be doing my my review for Baldur's Gate. I think next week probably.
Okay.
I also have a video on Final Fantasy XIV that I want to do as well. There's something else that I think I want to make a video on. So I just have to kind of figure that out. There was something else with Baldur's Gate this week that I was going to look at. How about the absolute massive patch they dropped?
Dude, they've added so many, like, I didn't read the patch notes on it, but there are so many, like, added little touches that they added. I just noticed today, like I was talking,
they added a full animation for Karlach to kneel down and kiss short kings.
Did they need to, though? Because where the face was going was kind of perfect.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
It was kind of perfect the way it was.
It fit in theme with the rest of the game, right? Yeah.
So, just saying.
Yeah, no, the major update that they did was pretty wild. Over like 1,000 fixes or something like that they have. Yeah. There's another major patch that's going to be coming as well. A bunch of balancing and stuff that they have. A little bit of update to like some of the visuals of the game. There's a lot of stuff that they're still going to need to work on, and we're going to continue to see them do some pretty major improvements to the game. But I'm just really happy to see like how fast they've been getting on it. I also really appreciate the fact that they have like hidden achievements as well, so it doesn't really tell you what it is because they don't want to spoil anything.
Yes.
I always love when games do that, so you don't get spoiled by seeing like what your friends have been doing in the game. But yeah, it's also crazy to see like how many hours my friends have put into playing Baldur's Gate. Cody's catching up to you.
Is he?
On the top of my friends list, it's you. At 91
Cody,
hours.
like, which is surprising because that dude no lives games, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's also probably playing other stuff as well where you're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he does a lot of, I think he likes that Exo Primal a lot.
Exo Prime? Oh, yeah, he does really like that game. How odd. What an odd game to like. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those games that like, maybe I should just give it a shot or something like that. It just doesn't really seem like it's something that's up my alley to begin with. We'll have a more like in-depth talking about Baldur's Gate, Act 1 and Act 2. I think next podcast. I think because most people will probably be there. You know what I mean? Haven't bought BG3 yet. 100% gonna buy it if I'm not lucky here. Yeah, I feel you.
All right, I'm cutting her off. Y'all ready?
Drum roll.
Wish you could hear the audio. It's actually all Will. It does the whole tick, 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 tick.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Oh, nobody. Gotta roll again.
Nobody? Yep. Nobody won, guys.
Nobody won that one.
It is 0. Nobody wins. Nobody wins, guys. No winners today. How fucking shitty would that be?
Oh, you just like because it leaves gaps if there's not enough names, so it leaves gaps. Yeah, it's rolling that ones for sure.
Yeah, it's rolling that ones.
There we go. We got our first winner.
We got
Xeon.
Xeon, congratulations, my friend. You have won a copy of Baldur's Gate 3 for Steam. All you got to do is just make sure that you're on the Discord. Again, the link to the Discord is in the description below. And then just message me on Discord, and I will add you on Steam and gift you the game. Congratulations, my friend. Who is our second winner?
Survey says. Oh, you're not gonna believe me.
Who? Is it me?
It's Licks.
Nix?
It's Licks Nix.
Licks Nix?
It's Licks Nix.
Licks Nix. You have won a copy of Baldur's Gate 3. Message me on Steam. Or message me in Discord. I mean, you already have me in there anyway, so it's not a big deal. So just let me know. I'll friend you on Steam, and I'll go ahead and gift you the game. This isn't to say, obviously, that we won't ever have any other giveaways, guys. This stuff kind of seems to just happen a lot now all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm thinking, honestly, I'm probably going to, once we get into Starfield season, I'm probably going to start buying Game passes just so people can try out Starfield.
Giveaway
you know
Game Pass. I like
that.
It's
fairly cheap. so I can. That'd be kind of a way to do it for PC.
Okay,
people.
okay. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if we can give some of that away. I did hear from a little birdie that we may or may not be seeing a couple copies of PlayStation 5.
Yes.
Baldur's Gate, but we'll see if that ends up happening. If we can get a couple copies of PlayStation 5 Baldur's Gate, we'll also be gifting those away as well. But yeah, cool. So Licks, Nix, and Xeon, make sure that you guys hit me up on Discord, and I will add you guys on Steam, and I will gift you guys the game. And then, you guys can start enjoying Baldur's Gate 3 like the rest of us and stop being on the outside of the in crowd. You know what I mean? You guys can be like one of the cool kids now. You guys can know what it's like to be in a polygamous relationship with an elf, a vampire, and a mage that's going to explode.
A real Randy mage.
Yeah. Really Randy.
Real Randy.
A mage that may or may not... a mage that may or may not, drug you. I don't know.
And thanks again, Half Dead Saint, for the codes, man. That's
everybody
awesome
make sure that you guys thank Half Dead Saint. They're the ones that made sure that the giveaway was actually a thing today. So if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the copies to give out. They're the ones that helped us make this happen. So big thanks to Half Dead Saint. Big thanks to the community. Big thanks to everybody making sure that they come out and everything like that, supporting the videos, supporting the stream. I brought this up earlier, and I'm not going to show YouTube stats or anything like that on here, but I just want to make you guys aware of something. I want to make you guys aware of how YouTube works. Okay, so over the last basically over the last 2 months, the YouTube channel has exploded in growth, and by exploded in growth, I mean it's absurd. It's actually absurd. Over 4,000 subscribers, over 500,000 views, and a ton of hours watched on the channel. And one of the reasons why that is actually happening is YouTube specifically tells me that the reason why the videos are doing so well is because you guys, the people that are already subbed to the channel, you guys are the reason why those videos are doing well. It specifically says because your regular viewers, your subscribers are watching these videos, because your regular subscribers are clicking on your videos and watching them entirely, it is suggesting the content to more people as a result of it. So it literally is you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, literally none of this would be happening. And don't get me wrong, I'm so good in a video, you know what I mean? I'm so good at talking and stuff. But no.
Yeah, that's what you did.
Yeah. No. Genuinely, without your guys' support, without the insane positivity of this community, and everybody just enjoying the videos, and also the feedback and stuff that I get too, because obviously people say some different stuff. They're like, hey, do more of this or don't do that. And I do take that stuff into account when I go and I make my next videos. One of the things that I definitely have seen a lot of people say recently is that I should probably stop explaining myself so much, in an apologetic way.
Yes.
Yeah, in an apologetic way where I'm hey, this is the reason why I have this opinion or whatever. No, I can just say what my opinion is and just kind of hold to it. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that more often. I try to make more friends than not. You know what I mean? More. You catch more friends with honey.
Well, we got to re-roll. Xeon says he already has a copy.
Oh.
So let me pull it back up.
Oh, then why did you type a 1, Xeon? Sorry, it was the gambler in me. What? I guess go play the fucking lottery. Thank you for saying something. Okay, we got to re-roll. Hopefully people didn't leave. I guess we'll find out soon here. Hopefully people didn't leave. Why are you putting your arms up?
Because it's fucking fun. That's why.
Oh my god. Well, I appreciate you saying something. Just Asmin your style a bit. Yeah, I could probably just kind of stick with it. I feel like that's probably not a bad idea to just say what I say and feel how I feel, right?
We have ourselves a winner.
Who is it?
It is Miss Bella Games.
Miss Bella Games. Hold on, I gotta do it like Miss Bella Games.
Yeah, that didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. I guess it didn't work. I hope it's. I didn't like turn it on.
Is she still here?
Is she still here? Miss Bella Games, you still here?
If not, I'm rolling this.
There she is. Miss Bella Games says, "Wait, what?" That means.
Wait, what?
Here.
You won.
Yeah. You won.
You won.
A brand new car. Not really, not a car. Just Baldur's Gate 3.
For reals.
For real. We had a re-roll, and you won as a result of the re-roll because somebody in chat just wanted to gamble and already owned the game. So, make sure, Miss Bella Games, make sure you join our community Discord. Link is in the description of this video. And then you can reach out to me. My name on Discord is Ian, which happens to be also my name. Reach out to me on Discord, and I will gift you a copy of Baldur's Gate 3 for Steam. Well, I'll befriend you on Steam, and then I'll share the game to you. I'll look and see if I can find my Discord account. Well, you have to, because that's the way this works. Other than that, you could also, I guess technically, it's either you use Discord or you directly message me on Twitter. It's one or the other.
Actually, it's not even a word. It's just that's what it's called now.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
That's Twitter. The new Twitter is that's it.
How do you know that?
That's the sound it makes, just like his kid with the weird name, Elon Musk's kid. It's just a noise. It's not even a word.
It's a cough. It's a cough. Yeah. I mean, we'll have more videos, more videos. We'll have more giveaways and stuff like that in the future. So I appreciate everybody stopping by, and I appreciate everybody participating and enjoying everything and having a great time. And thank you guys for everything and anything that I could possibly think of. Do we have anything else?
Blanket.
It's pronounced what?
I just read it said the company's called X. It's pronounced blanket. That's what audio said.
Oh my god. All right. So outside of that, is there anything else that we have on the docket to discuss?
Not today.
Not today.
Today's been a pretty good day.
It has.
If you guys join the Discord, I know there's groups trying to find each other in the same time zones to play some Baldur's Gate together. And that's kind of a hard game to do that because it takes so much. It's a lot of investment time wise to play the game. So,
a lot of coordinating. So, but it's there if you want to do it. Have fun playing some Baldur's Gate. That's all I have to say about that. Yee.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Yee. All right, that's all we got for today, guys. We've gone past the 2-hour mark yet again, which is wild. I can't believe the show's all of a sudden got longer for some reason. I just messed up our streams overlay. So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. We're gonna head out for the day. I hope you guys have a absolutely fantastic rest of your Sunday, a great start to your week. Mark, do you have any final words?
I love you guys. This is the most fun that I have all week is doing this podcast, and I enjoy that everyone comes here and makes fun of Ian. I mean, listens to Ian with me. It's so nice.
Nobody makes fun of me.
I don't have to be the only person. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one. So thank you guys for the support.
Mark, where can they find you? Where can they find you off of the podcast?
Off of the podcast, mainly in the Discord. I always jump into the Discord a lot. Also on the second channel, I'm starting to make a lot more clips of the podcast. I don't know if I want to do them in smaller chunks, like topic wise. It's so kind of hard because me and Ian will hop around a lot, so it makes it a little hard to chop them up that way. Second channel is Legendary News. He doesn't link it on anything, so it's there somewhere.
I'll link it.
Yeah,
I'll remember to
go ahead, subscribe to it, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, and then obviously you guys can find me here on YouTube, where I post at least 2 videos a day, 2 videos a week.
I do 2 videos.
Maybe if I quit my job one day, I can do 2 videos a day. I will. I'll be streaming sometime this week. Just make sure that you guys follow my Twitch channel because that's where I stream. And yeah, that's about it. So hope you guys have a fantastic week. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe, my friends, and we will see you.
That's right.
In Baldur's Gate. Peace.